Rhodes was a British colonialist who was very, very racist. He went to Southern Africa and named a country after himself, which was Rhodesia, which is now called Zimbabwe. And South Africa, he set up a load of diamond mines, which exploited people and kind of used quasi-slave labor to build what is now the De Beers mining company, which is one of the biggest mining companies in the world, and enrich himself.
Rhodes must fall! Rhodes must fall! Rhodes must fall!
It makes me very, very angry. And it makes me angry the whole setup. He is glorified and that he is above everybody else. He's untouchable, and he is.
I feel angry because it reminds me that incremental change takes time. And I also feel, recently I've been feeling more and more vulnerable in a way, because it reminds me that, yeah, as a mixed race girl, I am vulnerable, and I'm more vulnerable than other people. We have to ask ourselves, what do we want in this public space?
So in 2015, Rhodes Must Fall started in South Africa. We had a protest at Oriel College, and after that protest,
Oriel College decided to set up this commission, this independent commission of inquiry, and because they agreed, informally agreed, that they should remove the statue, so they set up this commission. But the commission delayed its decision in January and then spring, and then last Thursday, a month ago now, the commission concluded that the statue should be removed and sent its recommendation to Oriel College. But last Thursday, Oriel College decided not to remove the statue because it is too expensive.
There are more victims of police brutality and police violence in the UK. Black and minority communities are paid a disproportionate price, and that is because of the racist structures in our society.
Poor Coca.
Poor Coca.
Smiley culture.
Smiley culture.
Rayshon Charles.
Rayshon Charles.
But this past year has demonstrated that we will not be silenced, we will not be intimidated, and we will continue to fight for justice and equality.
And so the college lies repeatedly, they don't stick to their word, and they completely neglect what exactly is at stake here. And yes, we have a group and a movement that has mobilized a lot of people, but we are still not being heard by those who need to hear us. And that is the issue. That's the issue.
and the thing blocking his statue coming down is not necessarily the fact that he donated loads of money, but that other people who are now donating loads of money and who don't want a narrative whereby Britain has been a villain in history.
I think it is clear that they are trying to change the narrative, so they are trying to say it's a question of cost, when we know it's not. It's about the benefactors and the donations they receive, which are, we're talking about millions of pounds that could be pulled off if they remove the statue, but also the arrangement with the Rhodes Scholarship. So they decided not to remove the statue, even though they could.
Decolonize! Decolonize! Oriella full of lies! Oriella full of lies!
History is multifaceted, and the question is whose history, right? And what kind of history? Whoever has the power decides whose story is being told, and which one is the prominent one, and which one is considered to be a kind of a continuation from the past.
History of power in a way, because it's the history of white supremacy and how the white supremacists like Rhodes, who perpetrated genocide and murder and mass murders, he's still standing up. And what does that tell us about our society today, but also our past? But not our past, not my past, because my past is not about a mass murderer. but the past of this country and this imperialism that is still omnipresent in the city.
Rhodes must fall! Rhodes must fall! Rhodes must fall! Rhodes must fall! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
And, you know, there's so many different ways to contextualize a statue or a plaque. And I think it's something that is open up to public debate. I don't think that is something that Rhodes Must Fall should decide. It's something definitely that I shouldn't decide. But that is up for public debate.
Yeah, I think our wider aim is really to decolonize, and we should never forget this and always stand for this.
So it's all about the narrative, it's all about the way we remember history and telling the truth about history, and public space is part of that.
Museums have also been very problematic in the sense that so they are financed by sometimes big funds and corporations like the Sainsbury Foundation, like the British Museum, and they are the ones who choose the setup. So if you go in the British Museum, there is a whole floor for ancient Egypt, but then if you go in the basement, there is 2 small rooms for the Africa Gallery, in which they just mix up everything from Sudan, Kenya, and Congo, you know, and I still think it's problematic.
The inability to understand why these statues should come down is a wider manifestation of the lack of countries like Britain to come to terms with their own history.